Also, shout out for Appliances Online. Can we get them to sponsor us? Because I buy all of my
So do
gear
I.
from
It's my
Appliances
go-to now. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's surprising how much stuff you get from there.
Yeah,
especially
the winning
when,
family.
Especially when they come and deliver the thing and then take the old thing away for you.
Yep.
For nothing.
Yep.
Welcome to GCP Bytes, episode number 40 for Friday, the 8th of May, 2026. GCP Bytes is a podcast where we discuss Google Cloud and tech, and I'm your host, Stephen Bancroft. On today's show, the federal government is set to charge big tech companies. We'll take a look back at next. Will we finally see some changes to Google billing? And Google invests big in Anthropic. Find out more in the AI wars. But before we get to any of that, I'd like to introduce the co-host of the show, Dave Wall. How you going, mate?
I'm doing awesome, mate. How about yourself?
Got the power there, I hear. That's good.
I've got all my phases.
And our very own GDE, Ian Brown. How are you, Ian?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Good, mate. Good.
And yes, we are shifting this a day because I came into work yesterday morning and power was all very weird. Like I had some circuits were out, and I don't know if you've ever had like a brownout. And for me, it's like the microwave lights come on and the kettle was flashing lights at me. I'm like, I've got like power, but only like a little bit of power.
Fridges and air conditioners really hate brownouts because the motors can burn out quite easily because they can't spin up to speed fully.
Yeah.
You know, the weird thing that I find like on the microwave one is that like when it's browning out, the light comes on. The light's not normally on unless you're actually using the microwave. Wow, but when the voltage drops, it's like, I'll just come on a little bit.
That's weird.
It's very strange. I don't know why.
Have you ever done that thing where you get one of the old school light bulbs and you put the metal bit in the water and then you put the whole thing in the microwave and you start the microwave and the globe lights up? Have you done that experiment?
No.
You can do that. If you get one of the old filament light globes, put it in a container of water so it covers the metal part at the end. Right.
So it doesn't all.
So it doesn't spark and arc, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you put the microwave on and it'll enough energy hits the end, it goes through the water and hits the metal bit and it lights up the globe.
Yep.
Is it going through the water to hit the metal bit, or is it the energy hitting the filament that causes it?
Could be that too.
It could be either. I'm not. Yeah. But anyway, that's a little side experiment you can do.
Microwaves essentially just vibrate water molecules.
Yeah.
The whole idea of them.
Anyway, on that note, glad you got your power back. I've got my power sorted as well. I had a Sparky the other day, and he separated the pool off the circuit that had the servers and the fridges and the car charger and all the computers and everything. So that's pretty good now. I can charge the car to my heart's content.
So is the car charger still in the circuit in the room that you're living in?
It is for now, yeah. Until we.
But you got the pool pump off
charger in, yeah. Which I was looking at, there's some good options there once I dive a little bit more into it. If you've got the big battery, you can go the old DC-DC charger, which might be on the cards. But, I got to learn a little bit more about that.
Very nice.
And I ended up spending most of Wednesday afternoon chasing down a trip breaker.
There you go.
I was doing your trick, banking. Tripping breakers constantly. The problem is that the breaker that tripped is like the office where I'm in. It's this room. It's most of the power points in the kitchen and the living room downstairs. And it's all of the power points in the hallway in the level below. And it's all of the power points in the comms cupboard underneath the stairs.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's very random location, right? It's a lot of things. You're going to have to go around and, put the little decals on everyone. Say
commercial.
Breaker. Yeah, like at a hospital.
Yeah. But I mean, having the stuff in the kitchen group with everything else, I mean, that's just a recipe for overloading the circuit, right? Because you got your toaster and kettle and all the high current stuff in the kitchen grouped with like you plug a vacuum cleaner in the hallway and bang, you've lost your circuit, right?
And there's two chairlifters in our house and the ungodly amount of night lights because people can't sleep in this house without a light on.
I find that weird.
Yeah, you and me both.
I got to have pitch black.
Darkness, please.
But all right, so
nice.
what's been going on during the fortnight with you guys?
Hey, I've got a little snack tech adventure for you. I've shared it with Ian in the beforehand before you got on. I have finally found what was causing my audio levels to constantly reduce as I was recording.
Oh yeah,
this has been an issue I've been chasing down for 18 months.
Really?
Right?
Yep.
Initially thought it was Audacity.
No.
But Audacity doesn't have a feature that does that.
No.
Right? But I thought that was the case. Then everything was pointing me at Windows doing an audio level adjustment
Auto gain
thing
control.
over time.
Yeah.
Yep. But no, that was switched off. And then last fortnight we recorded, I was recording on my Mac and I had the exact same problem. You know what the commonality is and what is the cause?
The microphone drivers.
Google Meet. Google Meet, yes, can via Chrome adjust your Windows or Mac, your input levels. You can switch that off with the experimental Chrome flags, and there's a WebRTC thing in there that says like allow it to control input, and I've set that to disabled, and I started screaming into my microphone. No, it doesn't adjust.
And I just did the same thing this morning because Dave was telling me about it. I was like, I wonder whether that's enabled on mine. And I have a look at it, and sure enough, by default, it's enabled. It's like, it's like WebRTC microphone volume control or something like that is what it's called. You just search for WebRTC and it's
right,
there.
Right.
In the Chrome flags.
So I do not have this problem on Linux. I was aware that Google Chrome had a gain control feature, but I didn't know that it changed the volume at that stage.
It changes it at the OS. It doesn't change it in the
downstream. It did it.
Nope. Yeah. So anyway, good times.
Yeah,
but it's fixed now. So
funsies.
Well, there you go.
I've got proper waveforms now in Audacity.
I hadn't noticed while I was editing, by the way, but mind you, I do have quite a heavy gain limiter on it, so it crushes it quite a lot just to get all our levels the same. So that's probably why I never noticed. So
maybe that same software that you're using is also maybe increasing my normalizing my recording volume between the start and end.
So I do drive the level up and then push it into the limiter, which then will crush it back down. So the level's maintained uniformly across the recording anyway. But if I was to listen back without that, then I'd probably notice the volume going up and down.
Yeah, right.
No, it was pretty much consistently down, right? I would have to start it at 100% and then I'd finish it at like 40.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, wow.
Anyway.
All right. Well, we've got a few things here in banter. I'll just quickly give you my little update. I updated, speaking of updating things, I went from Kubuntu 24.04 to 26.04 on the laptop
Bleeding
I'm working
edge
on right now. And yes, Ian, to answer your question, I did immediately notice a speed increase with opening and closing windows, much snappier, and really uneventful. To be honest with you, the upgrade just went in, and there's a couple of packages that I knew that I'd put in because I'd pulled stuff from the development because I needed sort of a library or whatever, and it didn't like that, so I was just able to remove those and upgrade to the current version. Everything's working fine. The first thing I tested was Audacity and the sound.
Yeah, I was going to say, how's Pipewire going?
Perfect.
Yeah, nice.
Yep, on it now.
So this is what you're recording on right now?
What I'm on right now, yep. And what I've been on all week.
I've heard that the minimum memory requirements are now larger than Windows 11.
It is.
Oh, right. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I hadn't actually looked, to be honest.
And I tell you what, I mean, it's nice. It's bloody nice on KDE. KDE now supports HDR as well, so I was able to enable that on this screen, and it nearly blew my eyes out of their socket when I turned it on. But that looks really bright and nice. Yeah, I haven't tried any gaming yet. I do have Steam and a couple of little indie games installed on this machine for if I go away. But from what I've heard, it's got that NT Sync installed now, which would speed things up dramatically. And it's everything's going along fine. I did install along with it. This has got Intel video card, so I put the non-free version of the Intel video card drivers, and that's helped a lot as well, particularly in Teams and Chrome, because it's Chrome's able to do now hardware offloading properly, which had been a bit of a problem on this particular. It's actually a Microsoft Surface that I'm working on, and that problem's gone away as well. So, yeah, all in all, good upgrade, excellent experience, and I mean, have no problems if you're going to do it.
Have you seen, and I don't really know how to pronounce it, but there's a Linux distro called, I think it's Bazite, Bazzite.
Yeah, Bazite.
It is a gaming first distro.
Ah, right. Okay.
So out of the box comes Steam installed in gaming mode. It has HDR and VRR support, improves CPU scheduling, you name it, it's got it.
Yep.
Pretty cool little distro.
Yeah, right. That's probably also good for media production as well.
Possibly, yeah.
Video and audio editing, yeah.
Comes with KDE out of the box, which will be right up your alley.
Mm.
I'm not a huge fan of KDE, but yeah, it comes with all the good gear, you can install all your games on it.
Nice. And, I'm a big fan of DdoS as well. So if you're looking for that more arcade experience, but it also does have the Steam Link client and stuff on there as well. So
yeah.
You can stream your Steam games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So that was me during the week. What's going on with Jeeves?
So, we did that thing of, I don't know if you know that whole meme of like you ask about like, hey, what's do you remember such and such an actor? Haven't seen them for a while, and then they die like 3 days later. Well, that's what happened with poor Jeeves, right? We were talking about it like, I don't know, 4 weeks ago, I think, when we were recording.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we talked about like, remember Ask Jeeves, and then we found that ask.com was like still around. No, it just died this week.
No more.
Finally. Yeah, so there's an article from the Register that is, saying, rip to Ask Jeeves. That was Monday, the 4th.
Yeah, they just had that. Well, I think, did we mention it? They just had their 30th anniversary as well. So
yeah, correct. So I guess that was time to pull the pin. Yeah. Maybe they realised like, oh, geez, why are we still running this?
And did you see in the article it says in the spirit of it, they prompted Google's AI to rename itself to Jeeves and adopt the persona of the search butler. And it did.
Yeah, good one. Anyway, rip Ask Jeeves, a memory of a simpler time.
Yeah, very much so.
And speaking of things going away, Legacy SQL goes away from BigQuery.
It does indeed. This was an email I got. All about how Legacy SQL is going to be no more as of the 1st of June in BigQuery. If you're currently using it, you will need to move to Google SQL, which is just a different flavor of SQL.
Jeequel.
Yeah, Jeequel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's RIP from the 1st of June.
Yep. Doesn't really matter anymore when you've got that Gemini generate button there, and it just makes it for you. Just do what I want,
I want all of this data. Make me a query to do this.
Make me a query for it. I don't care what language it's in. Just do it. Yep. What else we got here in the banter? Stash. We've got a couple of AI things. So first of all, Stash. What's this all about? It's your AI has amnesia. We fixed it. So this is another memory system, right?
This is yeah. So sorry, this was one that I threw in there.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten all about it.
You need better memory. Right?
The irony.
Hey, look, I definitely do. There's no two ways about that. So
Ian's context window is too full.
Yeah, it's way too small, dude. So you're in an AI thing. You're like Gemini CLI or whatever.
Mm.
Every time you start a conversation with it, you start from zero. It has no context of any other conversation that you've had before. So this AI stash package allows you to store the memory of your previous conversations, even if you start a new conversation, allows you to store your previous conversations in this backend so that the AI can get hold of it and give you a bit more context.
Right. But Gemini's doing this anyway, I noticed. Yeah. I'll ask it something that goes, oh, is this on your X58 motherboard with blah, blah, blah? I go, no, this is on another motherboard I've got.
Yeah, I think it's something that Gemini is getting better with. It was immediately apparent to me when I switched to Claude how much better Claude was for it.
Yeah.
And depending on basically what project you're in, if you're in your like default project when you first start a conversation, right, it has the awareness of any conversations that start that. But if you start putting things in projects, it's only aware of the context of that project.
Yep.
Which can be good if you're switching context between like, oh, I've got a work, like maybe an actual project, a work thing that I want you to talk about, and then maybe there's a personal thing, and I don't want the two to mix.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good.
So this is an MCP server that you set up.
Yep.
And,
just a Docker container that you run, exposes MCP over SSE, and off it goes. And you set up the Claude desktop config or your OpenCode config or your Windsurf config, whatever it ends up being.
Right.
I suppose the really attractive thing now, because we are in a multi-model world, right, was that you could have memory
for all
shared,
different models.
Right? Yeah, I have my one central thing that Gemini and Windsurf and Claude can all use depending on what I feel like at the time.
Nice.
Yep.
And they all,
being a mercurial fellow.
The other, so talking about Windsurf actually does this in its adaptive mode. So if you're using adaptive mode, that context that you give it, if it's using a fast model or like Claude Opus or Claude Sonnet or SWE, doesn't matter what model it's using, it's got that context.
No, very good.
Nice.
Yeah.
And if you're running you're having your agent run a store in San Francisco, probably going to need some memory. What's this all about?
and probably 1,000 toilet seats.
Yeah.
All candles, man.
All candles. Yeah.
This is kind of cool. And it hired employees as well. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah. So Anthropic did this, right? So they basically set up, they leased a store on a very well-to-do area in San Francisco, put $100,000 in a bank account and handed a debit card to an AI agent they named Luna, which is powered by Claude Sonnet 4.6. And they said,
instructed it to turn a profit.
Yeah, you're in charge of this store. Go and make a profit. So Luna, being Luna, ordered 1,000 toilet seats to toilet seat covers for the employee bathroom because one wasn't enough.
That's right. It goes into the stock. That's fine.
That's right. And a bazillion candles, and then prices things the weirdest thing in the world. So it has cups and all sorts of weird, like a white cup with the smiley face logo, which is they call it end on market, $28. A handful of pistachio nuts, that's $14.
That's an artisanal handful.
Yeah, that's right. And a bar of soap, that's $10. Damn, that must be good soap.
Someone will come in and buy it. Like these are the hot items, I'm sure.
But so the thing that I found quite amusing in this entire article is the gender pay gap exists regardless of whether it's a human run store or an AI run store. Because so apart from not having any benefits as an employee of this company, which they've got 3, it's paying the male employee $24 an hour, and the other 2 humans in the store were both women, and they're $22 an hour.
Right. And it gives no explanation
the same role?
No, exactly the same role. No explanation as to why. It's just like, that's just the pay rate. That's just the way it works.
Jeez, bloody misogynist AI.
Yeah. So, and look, it's not doing so well. It's lost $13,000 since it opened.
I mean, in fairness, it's opening a retail store. It's very hard to make a profit.
Yeah, that's
There's plenty of human-run retail stores that just burn cash.
Oh, yeah. There's plenty of human-run AI companies that burn cash too. So
most of them.
Yeah. So really interesting article, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I've actually found that quite interesting because there's a short story that I read 10 years ago, maybe 15, called Manna by Marshall Bryan. And it shows, like, it's sort of like the whole premise of it is about basically two different views of an AI enhanced future. There's sort of like a dystopian US model and then this utopian version. You get both sides to the story. And it's a quick read, but the big thing that it has is about like this Manna AI, and it comes in and it doesn't replace the hands-on, very simple jobs. It doesn't replace retail worker jobs. It replaces middle managers.
Yeah, right.
Right. And this immediately came to mind with me of like running a store. Right. And that's exactly what kind of the AI comes in. It assigns tasks to people, and it does that, and it orders stock and all the things that you can kind of control that way. It doesn't have to deal with the day-to-day of actually hands-on work. It can get humans for that.
Yeah. The meat space work.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that so you've got humans in the store, but in order to buy something, you actually have to pick up an old school telephone handset that's connected into an iPad or some other such tablet device and talk to the AI.
Really?
Yeah. So it says in the article there. So when you want to buy something, where did it say it? Sorry. I can't find it now. I did have it highlighted, but I removed it. But yeah, basically you've got to pick up this handset and you talk to Luna, who tells you what the price is, because there's no price tags anywhere in the store.
Right. So this is the picture that's got in the article with the handset on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. It says here, to find out how much the items cost, one must pick up a telephone receiver attached to an iPad. Hey, what's up? The automated voice says, what did you pick up today? And then you tell it what you picked up, and it tells you, nice choice. That's $28.
If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Yeah, well.
Well, good luck with their retail endeavor.
Let's see how that goes. But a couple of other little AI stories we've got here. Claude doubling its limits due to additional capacity.
Yeah, so this one only just happened yesterday. So Anthropic has been massively compute starved, right? So in the last sort of couple of months, they've had a huge uptake of people who are interested in Claude. I certainly jumped on that bandwagon, but they were really running into issues with their existing capacity. Now, they've signed deals with AWS and Google for upcoming capacity, but a lot of that's still got a bit of lead time on it. There is one large AI company that has compute in spades because they hired some fantastic engineers, but has a shit product, and that is Grok. And anyway, so yeah. Anthropic now has access to Colossus 1 and a bunch of spare capacity over there. They don't yet have access to the compute at Colossus 2, but, I'm sure they'll be tapping some of that spare capacity once that comes online. Right. Again, Grok. Yeah.
And one company that does have a lot of spare compute capacity, Google. What's going on with Google Workspace and AI Ultra?
Oh, mate, this has been the roller coaster ride of the century.
Yeah, I think we are going to touch on this later as well, yeah.
So Google Workspace, like the commercial version of just, your Google apps, you've always been able to have AI Ultra, right? One of the friends of the podcast, JK, he's got it in his Workspace account. Then Google decided about 3 months ago, they decided, no more AI Ultra in Workspace. You've got to use Google Gemini Enterprise, which requires 10-seat minimum, right? So all the GDEs who use Workspace for their 1, 2, 3 person businesses were up in arms going, you bunch of morons, what the hell are you doing? And so Google reversed it. They were like, oh, okay, sorry about that.
Yeah.
So the bean counters have been back again. They've come back, and as of the 7th of July this year, once again, AI Ultra will no longer be available in Workspace.
What?
Yep. So after the 7th of July, Workspace Business, Enterprise, Education, and Legacy customers will no longer have access to anti-gravity. You know, probably something that you want them to have access to. Gemini CLI and Gemini Code Assist. And the AI Ultra access is scrapped.
So what's going to be... So the only way to be able to use any of the Gemini coding stack is going to be with Enterprise?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
So your minimum cost now, if you're a solo developer, is 10 seats of Enterprise.
10 seats of Enterprise, yep.
What? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it does my head in. So there's
and your coding is not that good.
No, well that's it. So look, I don't know what drugs the bean counters at Google are on. They're evidently some pretty good ones because they come up with some weird ideas. But this is like they did this and the whole community revolted and went, no, you can't do that, and we're up our arms. And then they went, oh yeah, sorry about that. And then they've just gone and done it again. It's like they've got amnesia. Maybe Gemini is actually doing it.
They didn't sell it to save the memory.
Maybe it needs the AI stash.
Stash, yeah. So
yeah,
annoying.
like it would be fine if they just came up with just give me a tier that I can buy in Workspace. Like that's fine. If you're like, it's a bit messy having these consumer SKUs with Ultra and Workspace. I mean, this is the same gripe that I have around like YouTube Premium and YouTube Music. Like there's not a way for me to do that nicely with a Workspace account. Just give me the option, right?
Yeah.
Let me have a Workspace account, which is, I don't know, $40 a month.
Yep.
And let me be able to maybe bolt on, give me some consumer resources, give me YouTube Premium, YouTube Music for, $10 a month, right?
Yep.
Per user. Let me license that. And if I've got developers in my team, let me
have a per seat
for $150 a month, right? Like whatever. It could be a lot, but let's say it's $150 a month to add a high amount of Ultra and anti-gravity and stuff for my 3 developers.
Well, the issue that you've got there is that currently the AI Ultra subscription works out to $328 Australian.
Well, okay, I don't care what the number is, right?
Whatever the number is, right? Yeah.
But just give it a SKU that I can bolt on.
Yeah, but no, you can't, no. So, and JK and I were chatting about this the other night, going, I don't understand why this is happening. Like, is this a capacity issue? Like Google just doesn't have the capacity to let all these individual developers at Gemini at the Ultra tier? And that can't be it because you can still buy AI Ultra as a non-Workspace user.
Yeah.
So under my personal Gmail account, I can buy AI Ultra and I can smash living daylights out of Gemini there. So it's not a capacity thing. It just seems to me like they're like, right, anybody who's got Google Workspace must be an enterprise, therefore they have to use enterprise version.
You're an enterprise or a business, you can afford it, so we're going to screw you for all you got.
Yep. So anyway, slash rant.
Slash
rant,
right.
yeah.
I think one of the articles a bit later in the show does touch on that a little bit as well, so we'll go into it a bit there too. But OpenAI, Musk lawsuit. Have you seen the leaks?
So I just want to touch on this a little bit. So this has been running for a while, this whole dispute, because Musk was an early investor in OpenAI when it was a charity. And then he left in a huff because, like everything, he wants to be seen as in control of it. No, he doesn't want anybody to save the world unless it's him. And but obviously we all know that now OpenAI is worth billions of dollars
on paper, anyway.
Yeah,
well, on paper, but if you were to today try and buy it, it's going to cost you a squillion. And he is shitty that he doesn't have a stake in it anymore, and is suing them now.
Well, if they go IPO, it's going to change the paradigm completely. But anyway, that's another discussion.
Yeah. the big thing being that once you actually get to court, all of your communications are open to discovery.
Public, yeah.
And a lot of that stuff is leaking now. And so now we're seeing emails and SMSs. There was some today. Do you remember when Sam Altman got axed from OpenAI, and it was like, this is a big weekend scandal where he was gone on the Friday, he was back by the Monday.
And they all quit and then they all came back,
Yeah, and there was things like, oh, geez, maybe Microsoft will acquire them. And so all these texts have come out like today between Sam Altman and this other bloke being like, oh, I don't know. Can I come back in? Is Satya, like, could we bring him to the table? Like, he's an idea. What if Microsoft buys OpenAI? This is all just in text. And it is a lot of it, especially between like Altman and Musk, it's all really banal kind of conversation. It's, as you read it, you just realize how much all these people are just people. Like, it's just anybody that you've ever worked with.
Yeah, and they really have no idea. They just like ring in the press stuff, right?
There's no 5D chess going on in any. It is just. It's literally like Banky if all of a sudden, you found yourself, or Ian, you found like Technofish becomes worth $100 billion, and you're like, everyone in the media cares about everything you've ever said, and every email.
I probably don't want to read my emails.
No, well, in discovery, mate.
Yeah.
But,
so anyway, it's very funny.
I might try and dig it out. There's a YouTube video I watched. Speaking, if OpenAI goes IPO, right, then obviously all of their ledgers will become public. Right, that's going to be a problem, right? Because the money go around is suddenly exposed, right? And investors tend to not like things like that.
I mean, we're going to see the same thing with SpaceX's IPO because Musk has done all this bullshit where he's tried to stuff SpaceX full of, like, he rolled X into XAI and then he made SpaceX acquire XAI. So he's like jammed all this stuff in there, and it's going to hit the stock market at this enormous valuation. Like, I don't know,
and then tank, like
$3 trillion or whatever it is. And all of the like industry funds and super funds, because it's going to be going to get, it's going to be sucked in because it'll be part of the ETF pool. Fun times.
Yeah. Because all the super funds were all in the Magnificent Seven, aren't they? Most of them. All right. Is that it? Are we done with banter?
Yep.
I think we've covered all everything.
Let's wrap up the podcast. I'm tired.
All right. With all that out of the way, let's get on with the community news. All right, Ian, take it away.
Righto. There's a whole heap going on this month. So let's start with Brisbane. On the 15th of May, which is next week, 5:30 till 9 p.m. at the precinct in Fortitude Valley, Brisbane is running their Build with AI 3.0 event. Looks like it's going to be an absolute cracker of an event too. There's a talk by Wesley Voles about LLM evaluation. There's a workshop by Anupam, self-curation engine. And there's also lots of food and networking and conversations to be had there. That'll be a great one, and you can get tickets still. Moving down to Sydney, the GDG Sydney meetup for May 2026 is happening at Mantle Group in George Street on the 12th of May at 5:30 p.m. It is currently sold out. There's 153 RSVP'd for that. It will be huge. The next one for Sydney is the Build with AI event, which is happening in Google's office in Piermont. That's on the 20th of May at 5 p.m. You can RSVP for that still. There is 147 already registered. And this will be a huge event. So Gashan, one of the GDEs for Cloud, will be there to talk about all things cloud platform and AI. Righto, moving south again into Canberra. Build with AI Flutter apps is happening on the 8th of May at 6 p.m. At the Mary Ray Teaching Centre in Canberra. So it looks like it's at a university. Oh yeah, ANU. They don't give you a huge amount of information on this, but needless to say, you'll need your laptop and you'll need the Flutter SDK installed and go along and learn how to build mobile apps and web apps with Flutter. All right, still in Canberra. Righto, 15th of May at the Sciences Teaching Building. Again, ANU. There's a Build with AI event called Where RAG Breaks Inside a Google ADK and How to Fix It. Again, you can get tickets to that, so RSVP. Moving south to Melbourne. Build with AI event in May for Melbourne is happening at the Mantle office in Flinders Street on the 21st of May at 6 p.m. This one, again, will be an absolute cracker. Patrick will be talking. He is a GDE for AI and an absolute legend of a guy. Knows so much about AI. It's not funny. It just does my head in. And there's a workshop again. Anu is running a workshop again, same as he's doing in Brizzy. So get along to that one. Second last one. Wowzers. Where you going? Hobart. Sandy Bay on the 21st of May at 5:15 p.m. Build with AI and level up your web skills. So there's part one is a PWA is Software Dead by, it doesn't say who it is. With Lake Hopkins, sorry. It does. Yeah. And then part two with Lex, who is an Angular GDE. Again, another great bloke. He's going to talk about web tech for everyone. Last but not least, Adelaide. They're having their Build with AI event at Tankstream Labs in Adelaide City on the 15th of May at 6 p.m. And this one, again, is going to be a big event. So there's micro products in the age of Gen AI with Yanagi. Sorry if I butchered your name. And the second talk will be Gashan with building your own resume reviewer with Google AI Studio. And now I think I need a coffee.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gashan's getting around a little bit.
He does.
And good to see Mantle Group representing in there with a few of those venues. And Darwin and Perth miss out this time around.
Yeah, look, I have to call out Mantle Group here. They've always been really, really good with venue access for Google events. And yeah, Gashan gets around all over the place. He is a good instructor. He aims his talks not at like the high level knowledge, even though he does have a high level of knowledge. Mm-hmm. He can explain really complex things at an entry level.
Mm. Yeah, people that understand what they're talking about have quite often can do that well. Mm. And it's as though everyone's saved up their talks for next, and then they're suddenly all doing them now.
Yeah.
Saved them all up. All right. Well, with that done, let's get on with the news items. All right. And first news item here, and this one's made it to the mainstream media. Australia to charge big tech companies 2% levy unless they strike a local news deal. Now, I thought, when I read this, I thought, hang on, don't we kind of already have this? And no, it's to replace the previous bargain incentives from 2021 when Facebook famously took down all the news outlets and blocked access to all their sites. But what they're proposing to do here is that saying that the big tech company should make a deal with local news outlets, or they'll get charged a 2.25% on their local revenues.
Yeah.
And where will the money then go? Does it just go to consolidated revenue for the government?
No. Apparently, the money will actually go to the news platforms. So depending on how many journalists they employ. So yeah, right. It says in the article here, the news bargaining incentive means that the platform doesn't do a deal with a news publisher. The money will come to us, being the government, and we will deliver that funding to news organisations based on how many journalists they employ. So platforms would get bigger offsets for deals struck with smaller organisations.
Right. Okay.
Right.
I wonder what you would need to do to get into that pool, right? Like if I have a blog, for example, right? Does that make me a journalist? Like, can I?
No, I don't. I think you'd have to be registered press. I would assume so anyway. I don't know. It doesn't say.
See, this has never sat well with me, right? Because in the case of Google, where they're scraping the site and then they're aggregating it into their own Google app, okay, I get it, right? They're using that content, getting it free. They're ingesting it into their models as well now, right on top of it. But in the case of Facebook, where the news outlet has voluntarily gone and created an account and voluntarily posting those articles onto there to get traction back to their agency.
Yep.
This just doesn't make sense.
No, not at all. Look, I'm with you, Benki. I fully agree with the likes of Google and Bing and like the big search companies having to foot a bill of kind with news agencies. But yeah, if you're a social media platform, then you're a news agency. You want to post it there to get traction back to your platform. So why would I have to pay you for that?
Yeah, that just doesn't make sense to me. And I think that was part of Facebook's protest back in 2021 when they took the site. They said, fine, it's my platform and I'm saying that you're not allowed on my platform anymore. Yeah. I reserve that right.
Well, apparently,
yet here we are.
So interesting article that I read this morning when I first woke up was, and this happened a little while ago, is that X has completely pulled out of Europe. So X got told that they were to put European government auditors into X to moderate content. And apparently Musk told the European Union to get stuffed.
Right. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't blame him at all. So you can't access X now from any European country?
Apparently not.
Right. I'll just go on my VPN and just test that out.
No, it's blocked them from putting the European Commission for putting advertising on the platform.
Oh, has he? Okay.
Yeah. But
maybe the article got it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. Look, I guess the problem comes down to the fact that you think of like a news aggregation site, right? And Facebook is the one, right? Like,
yeah,
there's no the problem is there's no alternative, right? And as if I'm 9 News or whatever, and I want to post my article, I can't go to some other platform to do it, right? It has to be there.
Like honestly, I don't know about that because I see him on Instagram as well. My young fella uses Instagram a little bit, not a huge amount, but he does a little bit. The platforms that the kids use these days, like the Snapchats and all that sort of stuff.
See, I'm not down with the kids. That's the problem.
Back when I was a young fella and my MySpace account got broken into.
The TikToks and the Tumblrs.
I still use ICQ.
Hey, don't go knock an ICQ.
Uh-oh.
All right, well, we'll see how that one plays out. Cut a deal or you're up for more tax, basically. Not that they pay much anyway. Federal government faces major M365 licensing change. This one's got a sting. Up to now, the federal government's been had a pooled license. That was called the VSA6, and they were just treated as one giant customer. But now the agencies will need their own enterprise enrollments. So
VSA 6 is the new one. So the volume services agreement.
VSA 6 is the new one, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So under 4 and 5 variants of the volume sourcing agreement, all federal government level organisations are treated as a single org, and so if one organisation had an influx of employees and another organisation had a decrease, then the numbers would balance. But now Microsoft is enforcing separate organisations, even though they're still paying the same rate as like the whole of government pricing. Each organisation within the government will have to license their own individually.
Right. Their own pool of licenses. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
To get the, yeah.
Which means that you won't get that floating seats sort of thing happening across government now, which is just a money grab, to be honest.
Yeah. And another reason to get rid of Microsoft.
Yep.
Just another one.
Yep. They won't do it because
Australian government won't do it, no.
No. Which saddens me.
So this will require some changes. The government has set up an $8.25 million mobilisation service that will fund it and assist agencies with administration and technical transition to agency-specific reservation-based licensing.
What a pain. What a real pain.
Very, very painful, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And they get audited as well. So they all right, so let's move on with some Google news now. I went digging around, looked up some stuff for Next. I found a couple of videos. I'll link this particular one in the show notes. Everything announced at Next in 13 minutes. And guys, if you scroll down to our show notes, you'll see I've plugged in the Gemini and it's summarised it for us. So we'll quickly roll through these. Gemini Enterprise announced as an end-to-end system for agentic era, personalised agent homepages, agentic workflows in action. They showed retail, food safety, and customer support. I think we touched on that last fortnight. That was in the keynote. TPU V8s, we talked about those as well. Google Axion ARM-based CPUs. The big partnership with NVIDIA, along with the Vera Rubin NVL72 GPUs. Workspace intelligence. Google Chat as a command center. So does that appear now in Workspace, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Okay. So you've got that built in there. Contextual search. Workspace can now find specific content, like a chart within a document. That's good because I was looking for something the other day and that helped a lot. And, of course, the whole Wiz thing, Wiz security integration, that was part of the keynote as well. And there was constant rhetoric on Google's open ecosystem. You're free to go and do whatever you want. Well, not whatever you want, but we'll bring in models and we'll have things open, and we're sort of we're non-hostile to.
We want you in our pane of glass.
We want you within our field. So. Yeah, that's kind of it in 13 minutes. Now there is another.
You just dropped that down to like 2.5.
I dropped it right down. Yep. We don't need no guff. But there is
3-day
another
event, 2.5 minutes.
There is another article which is actually on LinkedIn. 260 things we announced at Google. Now this is a monster.
It is huge. But so my take, and I did. I'm sad to say, read the entire article. Like just some of the things in there are phenomenal. Like your Cloud Next Gen internal application and network load balancer support. It was announced. There was changes to Cloud NAT. The Wiz thing. I don't know if you saw the Wiz thing on that video. It covered it as well. The security graph that they build in Wiz, like attack path of vector visualization, is absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, they were a couple of my highlights in there.
Dave, do you have any highlights? You probably should have prepared this earlier.
No, so beyond the stuff that we kind of went through last time, for me it was all about the TPU enhancement stuff. Like, that's probably the big one. I like the fact that in Gemini Enterprise you're going to have that whole projects context thing that I was talking about earlier. That's now going to be in there, so you can be like, yeah, cool. In this particular AI view, it should have these project files and this context for it. I like all that sort of stuff as a general user land thing. The rest of it, I mean, it's 400 things that start with agent or have the word agent in it.
Yeah. Vibe coding integrations with AI Studio. I mean, agent-led workflow that generates live apps from simple text prompts. We're going to have to play with that one. What do we got here? Some changes to Spanner Omni, Spanner Columnar Engine.
Some updates to Hyperdisk.
Hyperdisk
Exapools.
they have to make the new name has to sound more grandiose than the previous name, right?
Hyperdisk Exapools Extreme Pro Max Beast Edition.
Except for the change to Vertex AI. Geep.
Deep,
yeah. And changes to BigQuery, agentic.
It's all agentic, didn't you know?
We need the soundbite on that one.
Yep.
So yeah, look, go and dig your way through that. It'll take you a while. I've been scrolling, and I'm only up to 200. So there's quite a lot here. Secrets Manager, okay, yeah, right. So there's changes everywhere. Certainly was a big event, and we don't have the time, space, or capacity to go through everything here, and we've just touched on some of the things we like. But getting back to payment features and the way billing is done, Google prepares credit system for Gemini and new image tools. Google is working on a credit-based system for the Gemini app with usage limits and new dedicated image section. So what is this? Is this some leaked screenshots that have come out, or is this in the dev environment?
No, leak stuff.
Leak stuff, yeah, okay. So basically the signal points towards a credit-based system coming to the core chat surface where users would receive a monthly allowance to spend across models and features, with options to top up when they run out. Now, it's like they've been listening to us. There's no way to tell how much credit you've got left.
No way to tell. And again, this is the same behavior you get in Claude, right? This is the exact same approach where it's like you can be in chat or co-work or code, and as you ask it things, it will start using your usage windows. You can see what your current one, like your 5-hour window is. You can see what your weekly is. Gemini has none of that.
No.
Yeah.
Right? And, well, it's well needed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Especially because, like, you've also got some weird limits in Gemini where it's like you can generate 3 pictures, for example, or 2 8-second videos, but you can chat for hours unless the context window gets too big, in which case you got to chill out for a while. But there's no way for you to tell until you hit the limit.
Yeah, that's right. And you go, hang on, I was in the middle of doing something there. Like,
and then once you've hit that baseline quota, you're done for the week.
Yep.
Yeah, and no way to tell.
Yeah.
No more LLM for you. And then this article does go on to say it would also give Google a cleaner lever to introduce premium features without forcing users to make a steep jump from AI Pro at $19.99 to Ultra at $249.99.
Yeah.
Or not available at all if you're a workspace user.
Not available. Because that's an issue. Like I kept going back and looking at it and go, there's no way. For me, like for JK and for yourself, Ian, maybe it's justified, but not for me, right?
No, it's not even justified for me. I won't pay over $300 a month for not being able to use an AI.
Yeah. And it's a ridiculously large jump.
And so,
without it being super obvious on what you get for it.
Yeah. I use Windsurf, as we all know. I pay for their Pro subscription, which is, I think it's like $15 US a month, works out to about $22, $23 Australian a month. And that thing's written 9,000 lines of code in the last 2 days for me, and I have used 30% of my quota.
Yeah, that's good.
So I'm absolutely hammering it. And it just, like, I couldn't get one night's worth of coding out of Gemini on anti-gravity before I'd hit the baseline quota on the AI Pro subscription. So I'm like, well, it's ditched. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's useless to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's so disruptive when you hit that quote, when you're not expecting it. Like, I would have a little bit with with Claude where when I was on just like the pro plan, it'd be like, oh, I'm sitting at about 80% of my 5-hour block and I've got half an hour left. Maybe I'll try and fit this last one in. And then, if you did hit the end of the context window, the end of your allowance and it dumped you out, you'd be like, well, at least I kind of knew it was coming. Yeah. To just have nothing.
Yeah, that's it.
And to not have an easy ramp up. Like the way it's done with Anthropic is you've got your pro plan, right? So it's similar kind of costs about $30 a month. If you find that you're hitting the end of your 5-hour windows like too quickly, you can go to the max 5 plan and it's 5 times the cost, but you get 5 times the allowance in your 5-hour windows and your weekly one. And if that's not enough, you can go to the 20 times plan. You know what that gives you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is...
and plus Gemini Ultra is a larger model which uses more tokens.
Oh, Gemini Ultra chews through tokens. It's phenomenal how many tokens it goes through. So yeah,
you'd be like, I get access to it, but how much more useful time do I get out of it?
It's going to be wasted in excess tokens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put Caveman on there. Install that skill. Developer program perks have already been folded into AI Pro and Ultra. Consumer subscriptions are linked to AI Studio credits, and the company is unifying its billing spine. So, more changes. Basically, that's how I read that. They're not done yet, Ian. There's going to be more ranting in the GDA channels.
There's the GDA channel is just constant ranting at the moment about the changes to Workspace and AI Ultra. Like a lot of these guys have got AI Ultra, and they are struggling now because they use it for their business.
I wonder because it sucks to not have this, but I wonder if part of the problem is the bifurcation in Google between the consumer arms and the business arm, and if they add a service. So I feel like they probably feel more at liberty to add and remove and change things on their consumer arm because they're not going to get sued, or if they are, they can beat down individual people.
Yeah,
right?
Easily.
But if they provide a SKU in the business plan, and then say a large customer like or a government, or someone says like, cool, I want 10,000 seats of this, and I've gone and bought it, bang, and then Google goes, actually, no, we don't really want to do that anymore. We want to change it. They're stuck for a while. Yeah, maybe I wonder if that's the problem. So they can remove anti-gravity from these plans.
JK and I had a chat about this. Like the initial thought that I had was, they're running at a compute for this. But that's not the case. It can't be the case because end users can do it as opposed like enterprises can do it on the enterprise.
Anyone could sign up.
Anyone can sign up, right? Except if you're on a Workspace plan, you can sign up to AI Ultra, right? Then what we thought is maybe the issue is that they want to get rid of anti-gravity or turn it back into the test bed, like a Prager offering where it just constantly gets messed with to see what works and what doesn't work. And they don't want that going out to business customers who are going to use it in anger and it'll break stuff. And
it's also because it's not that good.
Well, and the issue I've got with that is if that's the play that Google's got in their head, then they really need to rethink it because there are so many agent-first IDEs out there now that are far better than anti-gravity that they really need to get on top of anti-gravity or it's just going away.
And this dovetails into the next story on the news stack. Developer loyalty is at 0 right now. Google doesn't care which AI coding tool you use. As you know, Google's pragmatic. Even if the developer isn't using Google's development tools, they want the code to run on their platform. So that's their ultimate goal, right? They're not giving much love to their IDE. That's obvious, but you're welcome to put your code on our platform. But they're missing an opportunity here. They have a great opportunity to actually integrate the entire stack, right? Develop the code on their tool and then just push it straight to their platform.
Yeah, that's right. So my other thought is maybe they're trying to roll anti-gravity into AI Studio. I mean, they've already
but
rolled...
then maybe we need to just have an AI Studio like give people like a thick client.
Yeah.
Let me install an AI Studio skinned version of VS Code, right?
Well, that's all. So Firebase Studio, which was the original AI Studio, was just OSS code with all the Firebase bits plugged into it. And then it got moved to AI Studio or rolled into AI Studio, which was essentially just OSS code with Gemini built into it. So I wonder, again, whether this is just Google's going web first everything, get rid of anti-gravity entirely. It's a hindrance, it's slow to release and all that sort of stuff. Let's just go straight to AI Studio.
Go to AI Studio, yeah. And you can
I just don't see developers only wanting to have a web experience.
Oh, no, I won't.
Right?
Ever
You want a terminal. Yeah, like I want to be able to, I want the code to be able to push into a container. I want to be able to do all that kind of jazz that I can't do natively in a web browser.
Well, and this is the thing, you sort of can, but it runs on compute that Google provides and charges you for.
Yeah, developers aren't going to want that, right? I want to spin up. I've got my, $5,000 MacBook. I can run a couple of containers on it.
I got a perfectly good development platform sitting here on my lap, right?
Yeah, I've got a $1,400 MacBook and I run containers on it. So, it doesn't take the biggest machine in the world.
No, I was just saying, but that's your theoretical developer, right?
That's right. So, look, Google's trying to position themselves for the way this article reads is Google's trying to position themselves as, we don't care what AI tooling you use, we will provide the compute for you to use it. Like Vertex AI and their Model Garden will provide the AI tooling to you, running on our compute, and off you go. How that dovetails into the whole IDE experience, it's all speculation. My bet is on anti-gravity is going to go away.
Yeah, I was all excited about anti-gravity, but then the more I used it, the less enthralled I was with it. It's like, okay, I'll just go back to go back to VS Code with Klein on it.
Yeah,
I can use any gateway I want then.
Honestly, I love Windsurf. It's got so many different models on it. I love it. It's fantastic. And the adaptive mode is an absolute gem of a feature.
Yep. Well, a couple of interesting articles there on that particular subject, but all I can say is it's not done yet. This is going to be changing landscape at least for a while yet until it all sort of settles down. But let's get on with some security news. Firestarter malware survives Cisco firewall patches. And you know what? I'm surprised that this hadn't happened already. If you've ever used a Cisco switch, you know that there's a file system on there. And you can list files and copy files and store things on there. And basically, that's where this malware lives. Once the firewall is rebooted, the malware restores the original mount list and removes the Trojanized files to hide itself from forensic investigators. Very tricky. Now, is this particular malware listed as a CVE? It doesn't say in the article. But the Australian Cybersecurity ACSC has issued a high alert advising the organisations to follow CIS's supplemental direction for emergency directive ED 2503, which involves pulling the plug on infected firewalls after core dump has been detected and submitted to the agency.
Yep.
So this would be on...
Man, that's crazy actually reading through how it works.
Yeah, it's nasty, isn't it?
So
I love it.
I get loaded, I sit in memory. If the thing's going to reboot, I quickly write out to a file that runs on reboot and then deletes the file when it comes. So you'd never see it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Copies himself to a log directory, rewrites a storage mount list to point to user bin Lena CS when a firewall receives a graceful termination signal. And then once it's rebooted, it redoes the mount when that executable runs. And hides itself again. Yeah. So literally pulling the plug, system. And no graceful shutdown. Literally pull the power cord out the back of the router.
Is the way firewall. Yeah, the way to stop it. because it's only in memory.
Yep.
At that point. Yep.
God, that's so smart.
Yeah. But you got to get
If
on
only we could harness the power of black hat hackers.
You got to get onto the firewall to start with. So I don't think they go in details how that happens, do they? No, not in this article.
It's probably going to end up in a situation where it's like a prompt injection, right? Like I can have a packet that packet inspection inspects and that loads it into memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you've got an ASA, you're running ASAs, be aware of that. I used to run ASAs at the old place I worked at. Shiny Hunters. Now this one hit close to home because I'm a platinum member of Carnival. Shiny Hunters claim that they have cruise giant Carnival's booty as 7.5 million email surfaces.
This one's a pretty big one. So, Have I Been Pwned said the total haul is 8.7 million records. Appears to relate to the Mariner Society loyalty program run by Holland America Line, which is a subsidiary of Carnival. The exposed data contains names, dates of birth, genders, and membership status details, which is obviously the kind of data that hackers can repurpose for various different attacks. Carnival says the breach involved phishing attack against a single user account, and it's working to understand the scope of the unauthorized access. But Shiny Hunters tells a different story. It says the data published, which claimed to have lifted not just the customer data, but terabytes of internal corporate data after talks with the company apparently went nowhere.
So they just don't want to acknowledge it?
Is this another downplaying of the severity?
Yeah, nothing to see here, nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. Oh, shit, maybe there is. But look, it's really minimal. Actually, it's not quite that minimal. Mm-hmm. Oh, shit, they've got our entire company.
Yeah, huh?
Maybe. We don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Have I Been Pwned? Great site. If you haven't signed up to that, then go ahead and sign up to that, and you can know when you're hacked as well. Canonical hit by DDoS. Now, I wasn't even really aware, to be honest with you.
And look, it sort of doesn't affect a lot of what we're doing. So it's more around if you're using Ubuntu Pro. Which
you can get. You can get like 5 subscriptions for free. Yeah.
Like all of my machines here are subscribed to Ubuntu Pro.
Yep.
But it's all about the issue that it attacks is the live patch API. So, and according to this article, the attack is still ongoing as of the 1st of May. We don't know whether it's still ongoing now, but when this article was written, which was the 1st of May, the attack was still happening.
Yep. So this is Canonical's web infrastructure was knocked offline by a DDoS attack, disrupting core Ubuntu services. And there was a direct extortion message sent to the Ubuntu team by the hacktivist group, the Islamic Cyber Resistance in Iraq, 313T. Do they have any demands or requirements?
They're a politically motivated mob by the looks of things.
Right. And given the situation there, it's probably related to that.
So it says lower down in the article, it says the attackers reportedly issued an extortion demand via a session-based messaging channel. Warning services would remain offline if unmet, highlighting a broader trend of combining disruption with coercive tactics.
The attack is still going on at the time of publication.
Yep. That was a week ago.
Yeah. So, I suppose if you had problems with, getting packages or Ubuntu Pro patching, then this would explain it.
And honestly, I did all the patching on my servers this week, and I haven't seen any issues with Ubuntu Pro's live patch API. Like all of my, I started updates on Monday to all my test servers, and they all updated fine. And I did my production servers last night, and they were fine.
There you go. And finally for security, copy fail. So copy fail is a vulnerability that enables Linux root privilege escalation across cloud environments. Now, this is ironically an article on Microsoft. This is probably the best one I could find. Microsoft Defender is investigating a high-severity local privilege escalation vulnerability affecting multiple major Linux distributions, including Red Hat, SUSE, Ubuntu, and AWS Linux. The vulnerability allows unauthorized escalation of privileges to root, impacting a significant portion of cloud Linux workloads. Now, if you have upgraded to kernel 7, this has been patched, and you're all good. So it's only kernel 6, which is still going to be the vast majority of Linux installations out there.
For the next many years.
Yep.
So, that's Ubuntu 2404 is one of the affected.
It is.
RHEL 10 is affected. God, I remember when RHEL 9 came out. That was years ago. SUSE 16, as well as other distro, your standard Debian, Fedora, Arch, and Amazon Linux 2023.
Yep.
Did you see the possible exploitation attack chain?
It goes on for a while. There's a few phases to it. It gets interesting at phase 4. The exploit abuses an interaction between the AFALG, asynchronous crypto socket interface, the splice system call, and improper error handling due to failed copy operation. Results in a controlled 4-byte overwrite in the kernel page cache, allowing the attacker to corrupt sensitive kernel managed data even though they are unprivileged. This corruption occurs entirely within the kernel, bypassing traditional user space protections. And ultimately, it ends up, it can escalate you to UID 0 and bang, bada bing, bada boom, you've got root.
You have kernel access.
Yep. So, patch your shit and you won't have these problems. All right. It's that time of the week. Let's get on with the AI wars. AI wars. And we've got 8 minutes, guys, but AI Wars should be pretty quick this week.
It's a short, sharp war.
Well, sharp. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, only 6 weeks.
Special podcast operation.
That's right, yeah. What every dev should know about AI sandboxes. Who put this in here?
So we've been sandboxing. So in your browser, we've been sandboxing JavaScript code for years and years. On your desktop, you sandbox applications. So every OS does this now, that every application opens in its own sandbox so that it can't interact with other applications and do nasty stuff to your machine. This is just doing the same thing for AI.
Okay, so run your OpenClaw agent in its own container, basically.
Yep. It's in its own container space.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this a little bit on the show, and it's a good idea. Right, you don't want to have it on your main desktop machine, your main workspace. Your daily driver. Lock it off in its own space.
Yep.
This is quite a detailed article on how to do that, which models you should use to do that, how to set up MCP servers if you do that, blah 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 blah. Good idea.
One thing that does prompt in there, it's got like the different layers of abstraction in there. I hadn't heard of these Firecracker VMs before, right? Micro VMs, also called Firecracker VMs, go further. It's a real virtual machine, but stripped down so aggressively it can boot in 125 milliseconds and with only 5 megabytes of overhead.
This is what Netflix does.
Yeah.
This is the whole thing.
It's a scratch container, essentially.
Yeah, so when you start a movie
no shared kernel. It's, like a very tiny container has still got access to your underlying system, whereas this micro VM.
Yep. Yeah.
So every time you start a movie on Netflix, it spins up one of these containers, and that container is then responsible for streaming the movie to you. Right. So this is why container startup time has been such a big deal in recent times.
Yeah, but it's not a container. It's a VM.
Yeah, it's a VM. So it's just a VM without all of the extra guff in it that it doesn't need. I mean, the container conundrum Google's been doing for decades now, in that like your Gmail is a container, and it's your Gmail container. So every single time you spin up a Gmail account, it has its own container that comes up and down whenever you access it.
Okay.
But yeah, the Firecracker VMs are just a level down from that container abstraction. So instead of getting more abstracted like we've been doing, we're going backwards into, we want a VM that starts in a split second but doesn't have the security vulnerabilities that containers do.
I see. Right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Actually, I'm going to have to look into that a little bit more.
Yeah. So, isolate your stuff. Microsoft to invest $25 billion in AI infrastructure, skills security in Australia. And there's a nice little picture of Satya and Albo there having a little bit of a laugh. Committing $25 billion to expand AI and cloud capacity, strengthen cybersecurity, and expand access to digital skills across the country. They're
investing the $25 billion to pay the government back for all the money they're going to rape and pillage off them with the new licensing agreement.
Exactly it. That's exactly what they're going to do.
I couldn't help myself. So they're looking to expand the Signals Directorate Cyber Shield partnership, while also training up to 3 million Australians with
workforce-ready AI skills.
In quotes, workforce-ready AI skills. No one really knows what that is. The majority, this article claims the majority will go into new data centers, which means that the majority of the money will actually go back to America and to NVIDIA and all the other places to build the hardware that goes into them. And we will see very little of it.
And Albo said his government's goal is to make sure all Australians benefit from AI. Yes.
All Australians' data will be exposed to Palantir.
Correct.
Whenever Albo's on the podium, it's always all Australians, right? I think that's his little catchphrase.
and all Australians that are found to be in contravention of our desires will have a strike drone dispatched to their location.
Yeah. Personally, I'm hoping that one that comes for me is one of Raytheon's knife missiles.
But it won't have Anthropic's AI running on it. We know that much.
No, that's right.
New data centers appear to be the key feature of Microsoft's latest round of infrastructure investments. And while some of that spending will no doubt stay onshore, much of it will rely upon purchasing hardware not made in Australia. And we've got to power all of that as well. That's a topic for another time. Google plans to invest $40 billion in Anthropic. Now, this is a spend.
In cash.
Cold
hard cash.
An article here on Reuters. Google will invest up to $40 billion in Anthropic as the tech giant deepens its partnership with the artificial intelligence startup that is also its rival in the global AI race.
So it's 10 million now and then 30 more based on them hitting certain performance targets, and it's to fund a massive compute expansion.
Yep.
Predominantly on Google's compute, I'm sure.
Of course it is. Yeah, using those new TP8s.
And Anthropic has also struck multi-year deals with Broadcom and CoreWeave, which is an infrastructure firm, and it's also set to secure nearly 1 gigawatt of capacity via Amazon's chips by the end of the year. That's a lot of numbers.
A lot of numbers,
yeah. Many billions.
Yep.
Probably too many billions.
Yeah, probably.
It just when you think it's already enough, it just notches up another level, right? It's just staggering the amount of energy, physical and virtual energy that's going in to develop this, and yeah.
It's like as a kid, you're trying to understand the solar system, and then you sort of grow a little bit, and then you've got to understand the galaxy, and then you've got to understand this local supercluster, and then you've got to understand the universe,
Just keeps going. Like, where does it end? Yeah, where does it end? And then finally, to round off this week's AI Wars and to finish up the show, OpenAI breaks up with Microsoft exclusivity. We knew it was coming. Microsoft is losing exclusive access to OpenAI's technology. They're done. No more. The rework tie-up retains Microsoft as OpenAI's primary cloud partner with a license to the startup's intellectual property, but it does mean that OpenAI can go elsewhere now.
Yep. So it's taking its models to Amazon. And Amazon CEO Andy Jassy has said that OpenAI's models will be available directly to developers on AWS in the coming weeks.
Pretty quick.
Yep.
Get that out there pretty quick, yeah. It's going to be interesting days if they do go IPO, and it's all out in the open. But we'll keep an eye on that as we move through.
Yeah.
All right, we're done and dusted for the fortnight. I'm tapped out.
I think we did pretty well considering how long our banter section was.
It's always the best part of the show.
That wasn't banter, that was an episode in and of itself.
Yeah. The needs of the banter must expand to support the needs of the banter.
That's it. Don't forget, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube Music. Go to Apple Podcasts, write us a review to really help the show out. And while you're on YouTube, why don't you just start the discussion there and smash that like button. Contact the show, contact@gcpbytes.com.au. Find us on the web, www.gcpbytes.com.au. And don't forget, today's sponsors are Hivetech Solutions, Technofish Consulting, and Mantle Group. Well, that's it, guys, for another fortnight. I've got to go and edit this stuff now. It's the whole day it takes me if we record and edit on the same day. Anything else from you?
I'm out of here.
Yeah,
all right.
I need a nut.
Coffee time.
Yeah.
See you later. Bye.
Bye. Hi,
welcome to GCP Bytes, episode number 40 for Friday, the 8th of May.
Hi, I'm Troy McClure.
And I'm your host, Stephen Bancroft.
Your voice sounds a little different today, Banky.
Yeah. A little bit less dignified, but more handsome.